Hi guys, and welcome back to LPB Racing for the WEC Replica Championship on Project Cars 2. We are getting ready for a start here at Monaco for the special event. This is double points, so it's well worth it. It's going to be tight, twisty and lots of action here. So we're getting ready for a start. Bidzster on pole for the LP1s, and off we go. Good start by everyone there, nice and clean. Let's see if they get through Sandevot clean. LP1's nice and clean. Oh, contact at the back. Blakeney hits Keith and straight through the middle. There we are. A little present from Blakeney to Keith there through the GTEs. As we go with the LPs who are already up at Casino. This is going to be quite a fun couple of races. This it's tight, twisty, and these LP1 cars are very, very quick. They don't usually race around here, but this is just a little special one-off, and it is double points, so it's well worth to look out for. So Bidzster in the lead from Neil, Stevie, TY. Then we've got Arsdar, Blade and Footman quite close together in the GT class. And then if we look here, we've got Keith and Growly Bear, who are going down towards the next corner. Growly up the inside of Keith. Oh, bang! Oh, sends Keith into the wall, and then he's gone through. So Growly Bear hits Keith out of the way and goes through. I'm not sure whether that was quite on, but yeah, that wasn't very good. But I'm sure there'll be some action taken by the stewards on that one later on in the race as we go down to the chicane. Meanwhile, Bidzster's already at the swimming pool. The LP1s are just pulling a massive gap here. Then we've got Arzadar from Stevie and TY still in line astern. Then here come the GTE cars through the swimming pool section. Over, not too bothered about going over that curb. Obviously the track limits, you've got to watch out for them, especially on that corner there. That's one of the ones with the track limits. As we look at Keith, Stacker goes into the wall in the background. Stacker, the first casualty to hit the wall majorly. Oh, as Blakeney spins. Blakeney spins there just on his own. There's too much power at the on the rear of that car, and then round he goes. As Neil Farmack and Stevie go towards Casino. Very close indeed. The pit stop window is in between lap 10 and lap 20, so quite easy to remember with a 30-lap race. You can see at the top of the screen. As we look at Stevie attacking Neil Farmack, just keeping the pressure on as Neil Farmack almost outbreaks himself. Bidzster's already coming out the Lowe's hairpin, and these two are already going into it, so Bidzster pulling a handy advantage already in this race as TY and Callum go round the hairpin, and Stevie and Neil they're about to go round the corner towards the tunnel. Stevie loses it on the exit. Stevie's lost it on the exit. He's spun right round, but he's got going again, so complete 360 and then continues. So looks good, but not quick. So Stevie then into the chicane, onto the brakes, and then again over the curb, and then just slightly around that corner. Nice sliding round, and then we've got Growly Bear in 8th place. Footman is in the lead of the GTE class. He's there in the 6th position there. So 6th position for Footman as he comes into the chicane, followed by Arzadar Blade in the Corvette. So Arzadar Blade back in the Corvette now. We've found a fix for all his problems, so should be good for the rest of the season. Growly Bear in 8th. There's Keith 9th, Stacker in 10th, Blakeney back in 11th. And then we look back at Bidzster. He's already at the first corner, Sandevot. So the performance between the cars are unbelievable here as Neil hits the wall there slightly, but TY closes up in the Toyota. So TY closes up. Remember his teammate Blakeney at the back of the GTE grid at the minute, so not looking good for Blakeney at the minute, but let's see, it's a long race, we'll see how it goes. So Neil leads TY in 2nd place down towards the next corner. Close into the Lowe's hairpin, where the Lowe's Hotel is, which is where the actual camera is based here, so we can actually see. And then out onto the straight, I can't really call it a straight, as Stevie hits the wall again. Stevie's buried his car in the wall, and Callum is causing a traffic jam here now as he tries to get the car turned round, and Callum's having to wait for him to do it. This could be fun, especially with the GTs approaching. There's Footman as they've got those cars going yet. Stevie still can't get going. Callum tries to go past, and now Stevie gets going, and Callum's stuck now as Footman comes into the corner, and Callum's there, bang, hits him. So Callum now facing the wrong way, so Callum's gonna have to wait for a gap in the traffic here. He's trying to get the car turned around again as he just gets out the way of Growly Bear as he comes through. Oh, this is close, this, as Callum has to stay there while the others come through. There goes Stacker, and then we've got a bit of a gap now before Blakeney. Oh, he needs to really get that car turned around here. As Blakeney goes through as he goes backwards, and he just about gets the car going there, so that's lost him a massive chunk of time there, and now he's got to get past all the GTEs again. As we look at Neil and TY resuming this battle on track for 2nd place. Monaco, very tight and twisty, as you'll know from watching Formula 1 if you are a Formula 1 fan. That It is very hard to overtake around Monaco. It's generally quite hard to overtake in Formula 1 unless you push a button and you get DRS, which is a bit stupid these days in my opinion, but it's the way that racing is going unfortunately. But all this push to pass nonsense. But these cars, pure thoroughbreds, which provide good racing. As Neil, got to be careful of those track limits. Neil goes across the curb there, but then again so does TY. You've got to be careful of the track limits because obviously the host of LPB Racing, Bidzster, will be watching. So I know he's out in the lead, but obviously, and it's me commentating to you in the fourth person. But I am fair. I know what I'm doing when it comes to racing. As TY hits the wall, I know how it goes when it comes to racing and that. When it comes to track limits, I'm a very passionate motorsport fan, and I've got a good knowledge of motorsport, and especially when it comes to the racing side, because I do marshal in normal life anyway. I'm marshal. So I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to racing. I'm here to provide you with the entertainment with these races that we provide here on LPB Racing. As we look at TY trying to keep with Neil, again a bit of damage on that car as Callum's working his way through the ranks of the GTE boys. He's closing up to Stacker now. He's already passed Blakeney and Keith. As Keith goes back to the back of the group, so Keith's heading off somewhere as he goes over the chicane. And look who that is behind him, it's Bidzster. Bidzster's about to start lapping people already, and it's only lap 5. So that just shows you the performance in these cars. As Bidzster comes round towards the swimming pool section, he's going to be behind Keith now. He's going to have to wait until he gets onto the straight probably, because there's not going to be any way around. And there's no blue flags, remember, because the GT cars get right of way when it comes to the line, to the racing line. So the LMP ones have to wait for a gap to get round, because I personally think that's the safest way to do it. As there we go, Keith stays on line, Bidzster goes round and starts another lap. As we look at Growly Bear, and there is Growly Bear there, and he's got Callum not too far behind him I don't think, so Callum followed 5 seconds behind him in the LMP1 car. Close there as we look at, we've got Aston Martin off in the background, as that's Blakeney. He must have hit the wall. So Blakeney's gone off there, he's hit the wall, so unlucky for him. As you look at Neil and TY now, this could be a deciding factor. They've got traffic. TY closes up, will Neil be able to get past Keith before the next corner? This could be vital. And he does, he just gets the car stopped. So, because the GT cars can keep up with the LMPs through here, because it is a tight twisty section. As we go in through the hairpin, you see now, Keith just moving out the way of TY a bit there, but he just made a mistake. But TY's going to have to wait for the straight here to get past Keith. As the camera goes funny again, do apologise. As there he goes, he's past Keith now into the tunnel, right round and down towards the chicane, through the chicane and up towards the next corner. So Neil Farmack gains a good 1.5 2 seconds there on TY. It shows you the difference that the traffic makes. But then again, now Neil's going to do it again, because he's got more traffic with Stacker. As we look at Bidzster, he's already coming across the line. So Neil now, he's probably going to catch Stacker in quite a good spot here, because he'll be able to get the power on, get right round him, and TY's got to follow him, otherwise he's going to be in trouble for going up the hill. Can TY do it? Is he going to go? No, he's got to wait. TY's got to wait. Stacker goes into the corner ahead of TY, but now TY can get through up the hill. Somehow, there he is, he gets on the power and passes the Porsche going up the hill. So that's again extended the gap in Neil's favour, probably by another half a second. If you have a look at Stevie, he's back there in 4th place after having a few little faux pas in the first 6 laps. So he's there in 4th. The leading GT is actually in 5th, because Callum is down in 7th place. He's catching track limits there, Footman. You've got to be careful. That will be a track limits call, that one. So you've got to be careful, because you'll get time added on to the end of the race. Could vary between 1 to 5 seconds. So 1 second for just quite a minimal, not really gain much advantage, but you still cut the track. And then 5 seconds for, yes, you really did cut the track there, and you were awarded an instant 5 seconds, or it could be anything in between, depending on the severity of the track limits that you do, and depending on how much time you gain. So that will probably only be a 1 second one, so it wasn't really very much, it was just a little bit. But again, you've got to be careful of that, because those can add up over a course of a race. As he goes into Saint-Devote and up the hill, starts to climb up towards Casino. Hazard Blade and the Corvette behind him. And then there's Callum. he's letting the leaders go through. So Callum really struggling in this one. He's slowed right down. Let both leaders go through. Let both of the second and third place cars go through. So Bidzster's obviously lapped him already. So Callum not having a good start in this race, and it doesn't look like it's going to get much better for him. So unlucky for Callum in this one so far. As Footman, the leading GTE, comes into the Lowe's hairpin, and there's RZR Blade just behind him. We'll just get rid of that so you can actually see. And look who that is. It's Bidzster. He's catching up to him. So Bidzster, the leader in LMP1, is catching the leaders in GTE. On lap 8, and he's just going to get RZR Blade as he comes through the tunnel there. And goes through. And now it's Footman in the Ford GT, leading GTE car. He's going to get... Oh, got to be careful there again to Bidzster. That could be a track limits call, depends on how much curb he took. But he goes through past Footman anyway. And obviously still keeps the lead of his class as he goes right through the swimming pool, pushing hard, still trying to maintain the gap. So Bidzster obviously feels very comfy around this track. We'll see what he can do. But again, RZR Blade and Footman, the battle of the GTE first place is still up for grabs here. Only 1 second in it, not much. So lap 10, the pit window will open. So the GTs will have to do an extra lap compared to the LMP1s before their pit window opens. Depends if Bidzster catches them again. So let's have a little look at Callum and see what progress he's making. He's still in 7th place. He's not really at home here at Monaco. He's not really feeling the good vibe here. And unfortunately for him, back in 7th place still. We look at Neil, Farmack and TY. They're coming up towards Casino now. They've got a little bit of traffic now. They're catching up to the lead GT group. So this could be again, and Neil's going to catch him in a really, really bad place here. This could let TY catch right up to him, because he's going to be behind him now through the hairpin and then onto the straight. So he's got to try and get past 2 cars in one go. So he slows right up. TY closes up to him. Oh, close stuff this. As we go onto the straight. Oh, he runs wide. TY gets right behind him. And we all know how fast that Toyota is off the line. With the hybrid power as... Oh! Neil passes RZR and contact in the tunnel. Whether that was a bit of desperation or not. As TY almost hits Neil. Oh, very close stuff there. So we'll just get a replay on how close Neil and RZR did come to contact. Okay, here's the replay of what happened between Neil and RZR from on board with TY then. So see, we get Neil gets a bit of a bad run out this corner, gets on the power, and out with passing here, but then he goes on the inside and then bang, moves RZR out the way and goes straight through. So that was a bit naughty there by Neil. And then TY, oh, just about gets the car stopped without hitting Neil. So as we come back from that, you see RZR Blade just hit the wall there in the background as Neil goes through, and then he's got to try and get past Footman now. TY still right on his tail here, so the battle for second well and truly on in LMP1 as we go through here. And then up onto the start-finish straight. TY gets a good run out of there, but can he get past Neil? But Neil's got to get past Footman as well. They've both got to try and get through here, and they both do. Down towards Sandivot. One mistake could decide this as TY gets a perfect line through there, and then gets a good run up the hill, but not close enough to actually gain on Neil too much. As we look into here, Neil makes a little mistake. TY closes right up. This is the battle on track at the minute. There's not really any other battles on track, so we'll stick with this little battle here. Neil versus TY. So Neil in the Marek, TY in the Toyota. Toyota with a much more powerful hybrid system, but it doesn't last as long as the Marek's. The Marek with a nice all-round sort of feel to it, internal combustion engine and hybrid power. We go on to the straight. TY runs a bit wide there, so Neil gets a bit more of a gap. As we look, as we come through the tunnel, down towards the chicane. Onto the brakes, and Neil goes through there, both very nicely through that chicane. So nothing to gain, nothing to lose here. And both power out that corner. The speed of these LMP1s is phenomenal. They're not lapping much slower than the Formula 1 cars around here. It's just the Formula 1 cars can carry a bit more corner speed in the slow stuff. There's Neil Farmack now getting close in by TY. Again, lap 10, pit window is now open for the LMP1s. So it's up to the LMP1s when they want to pit now. Bidzster's gone round, he's already at Casino. So TY goes through there with Neil. Neil's just past Stacker here. Now it's TY's turn. He's just going to catch Stacker as they come out the first corner, Sandivot, and straight through. So again, not really lost much time there. Callum is now in amongst his own class, so he's ahead of all the GT boys. He's into 5th place. Footman in the GTE. There, oh, Zarzadar hits the wall at Sandoval on the inside, very easy to do. In Formula 1 that would be what would be at the end of your race, but in these GT cars, obviously again with no damage, no, the damage is actually off on these cars, but it still shows visual damage, which is still strange to me. I still don't get it, but that's what we get at the end of the day. Zarzadar blade just runs against the Armco rail there. There's Keith there with Blakeney right behind him, so we've got a good GT battle here. This is a battle on track, Keith versus Blakeney for these positions for 9th and 10th. So through the swimming pool chicane, down to Raskas. Raskas, the hairpin that leads on to the last corner, which leads on to the straight. Again, both very close together, but no positions changed. Neil and TY still very close here. Has anyone pitted yet? Bidzster is not pitted yet. Will any of these two pit this time? No, they won't, so they're going to keep going. So Bidzster still goes round in the lead. As we look at Stevie in 4th place, he's come through down Casino, down towards the Lowe's hairpins. Callum's in for a very early stop. He's just gone onto his lap 10, where his pit window opens, and he's coming to the pits very early for a pit stop. So he's coming very early, get it done, see if he can get some fresh tyres on, see how the car feels. So probably a good idea for Callum there, as the car goes up on the jacks and the pit stop process starts. So Ground the Bear comes through there in 8th place. He's on his own at the minute. He's got Stevie catching him up to lap him in the RWD. Meanwhile, Keith and Blakeney still battling it out here for 9th and 10th as TY gets second. TY's into second. Neil's gone backwards. Neil's gone 6 seconds behind now. So Neil, bit of damage on the front of that car. So we'll just get a replay on that. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Neil then on lap 12 for him to lose the 2nd place. So into Sandoval, completely outbrakes himself and then hits the wall, and then luckily finds reverse pretty quick, but by that time TY is long gone. So as we come back from that, after Neil hitting that wall, TY takes 2nd place in the race then. He's released and he's now on his way to try and catch Bidzster. As he passes the battling Blakeney and Keith in the background, Blakeney hits the wall there through Lapicine into the swimming pool section. Down towards Raskas, he can't get him here, he's going to have to wait again. So Bidzster's still up the, going up towards Casino, so there's no pit stop yet for Bidzster. TY goes round again, as well as Keith goes into the wall there, probably just a little mistake. And then TY powers past, so that could help Blakeney out a little bit to catch him. As he goes into the first corner, TY goes into the first corner, nicely round there. As Neil Farmack now catches up to the battling Keith and Blakeney as they go up the hill. Neil's got to try and get around this traffic now, goes round one. Now he's going to get around the other. He's going to Casino. Will he go for the move here? No, he's got to wait. Again, the LMP, so the GTEs get right of way over the LMP1s when it comes to the racing line. Neil will have to squirt past now down towards this next corner. He's got to be very careful on the brakes not to cause an incident. As close as you like, but he had to get through. Got lose too much time to TY. So Stevie now making his way through that traffic as well. So Stevie is actually a lap behind Neil here, so this will not be a battle for position on track because Stevie's been lapped by Neil and TY. So Stevie looking to unlap himself here as he goes past the Keith. So here's Zarzadar Blade. He's in 2nd place in class, and then Footman in the lead of that class. Callum's moved back down to 7th again, so Callum made an error. Oh no, sorry, he's been in the pits, I beg your pardon. Forgot about that, he's been in the pits. So now he's catching up to Zarzadar Blade. As Growley goes through, just going to have a little run through just to see if anyone's pitted yet. And now I think that's Stacker who's just come out of the pits because there was quite a lot on the inside there. So Stacker must have made his pit stop, and he has fallen quite far down. So I would imagine that would be a pit stop for Stacker. As Bidzster comes through the Lowe's hairpins again, no pit stop for Bidzster yet. TY no pit stop either. Neil, nope, still not yet. Stevie no either. I'm just running through, guys, just to make sure I've not missed anything when it comes to pit stops. So there goes Footman going through the chicanes at the swimming pool. And now down towards Raskas as we watch Zarzadar Blade with Callum behind him there. He makes a little mistake into the corner. Callum still has to wait. He's going to have to wait for the straight. No way through. Footman continues round there. No pit stop for Footman as of yet. Zarzadar Blade and Callum. So Callum's already pitted. Will Zarzadar Blade come in this time, or will he go round? He's going to go round. As we look at Growly Bear, he's just being lapped by TY. So where's Bidzster? There he is. There's Bidzster. Will Bidzster pit this time? Nope, he's going to go around again. So obviously still feels comfy with those tyres and powers on his way. 19 seconds behind him. TY in second place overall and in LMP1. Then we've got Neil Farmack with Stevie behind him, but again they're a lap apart, so Neil a lap in front of Stevie there. So even though that is a battle on track, it's not actually a battle for position. So Neil ahead of Stevie. Stevie on the pace here. Will Neil or anyone pit this time? Nope, we're going to go round again. So Neil now and Stevie will power past the Ford GT of Growly Bear onto the straight. Straight past him like he stood still. The hybrid power gives him an instant 700 to 800 horsepower or 1000 horsepower if you're in the Toyota, but not for as long. They power up the hill. Stevie behind, he knows if he gets past Neil he's going to have to get his foot down, otherwise he'll get blue flagged by the marshals for the LMP1. So yeah, there are blue flags in this, but the GT cars do have right of way when it comes to the line, so the LMP1 car just has to wait behind and then power past, just to save people moving the same direction at the same time to save incidents. So Bidzster comes through the chicane then. No one else in the pits as of yet, so will Bidzster pit this time? We're at halfway distance. Nope, he's going to go around again. So Bidzster not pitting yet. TY still goes around there as Neil Farmack now comes up to the chicane and straight across. Makes a big error there, and then another two cars go straight across. So that was a bit confusing what happened there, but Neil sportingly waits right for Stevie to catch up to him again before setting on his way. So that will not be a track limit because he actually did wait for Stevie there. He didn't gain any time, so well done there to Neil. Good awareness and good driving there. Is TY pitted? No, he's gone round again. So Stevie and Neil, let's have a look, see if anyone pits. Got to keep an eye on these pit stops. Nope, not yet. So Footman goes round there. Bidzster's catching him as well. Callum also. It's all a bit more spread out here. We've got Arzadar Blade there. I wonder if he's pitted because he's quite far behind Footman now. So as Growly Bear comes across the line, Blakeney there, Keith and then Stacker. So again, just trying to keep up with proceedings here, guys. Just trying to keep up with who's pitted and who's not. So if you're not already subscribed to LPB Racing, I do recommend you do, as Callum goes into the wall. I don't think he was pushed, but just to be sure, we'll get a replay. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Callum. Of course, he's going to the wall, so he passes Footman, and he gets a run out the corner, then just hits that little wall there, and then goes into the barrier where we saw him. As we come back from that then, Bidzster towards Footman. So as we're saying, guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to these videos. It's really important to me and to this page. And it's we're always looking for more people to race again, so if you are interested, find us on Facebook. We are LPB Racing at facebookgroups.com.uk, should I say. As we go across the line, Bidzster goes across the line past Footman into the first corner, nicely around there. TY now behind Keith. Don't think there's any more pit stops happening just yet. As TY goes through, and he's gonna no one in the pits yet. So again, a big gap between pit stops, so people might be leaving it a bit later in this race then. Neil goes through and hits the wall. Oh, close stuff there, and Stevie will close up. But again, remember, this is not a battle for position, as they are apart. So Neil now pits. So Neil into the pits then for his mandatory pit stop. So Neil into the pits, and that'll see him go a bit further back. And Stevie goes round again. Footman and Callum there. They go round, and Arzadar Blake quite a bit further back from Footman there. And then we've got TY closing up to lap him as he goes right deep into that hairpin. And then Growly Bear comes round there, he's not pitted yet as well. And Blakeney back there, and Keith has fallen back, so either a mistake or he's done a pit stop. So again, can't really keep up with these. But Stacker goes through there. As Bidzster goes in front of Blakeney and drifts the car out, saying, there you go Blakeney, a little show for you out the exit of swimming pool. And I think, yeah, he's just about had enough of those tyres now, so Bidzster into the pits for his mandatory pit stop as well. So this could be an important bit of the race for him as he goes up onto the jacks and gets his tyres changed. TY will know this, he'll be getting his foot down now. You'll see Bidzster in the pits. There he is, just on the right side of the screen. So TY comes round through Laras Cass. Not pitching yet, so TY leaving it quite late in this race. Bidzster's just down off the jacks now and off on his way. So TY goes through, takes the lead of the race, but it'll not be the lead for the whole race because TY's yet to pit, and Bidzster's just coming down the exit of the pit lane now. Neil's right back there, so Neil right back as Bidzster exits the pit lane here. And Stevie comes down towards the first corner as well, and out the pit lane goes Bidzster and up the hill, just behind RZR Blade. Oh, we've got an incident in the background. Stevie and another car. That I don't know what is that. Is that one of the Porsches? Yes, it is. It's Keith. So we'll get a replay on what happened there. Okay, here's a quick replay of what happened to Stevie then on lap 17. So into Sandoval, outbrakes himself, but then rolls backwards, and then Keith can't go anywhere and hits him there. And then they both reverse and then get on with it. So as you come back from that end, Stevie gets away and so does Keith. As we look at RZR Blade now, he's got Bidzster right behind him, who's just made his pit stop, so Bidzster will want to get past, because every little second behind means that TY gets closer. He'll do it onto the straight here, and he'll get past onto the inside. Straight through goes Bidzster, and away through the tunnel down towards the chicane. There's Growly Bear, he's coming up the hill. So Growly Bear on his own in this race. As we look at Blakeney, he's in the pits now. Blakeney comes into the pits. So I think Keith already pitted, so this could be a deciding factor in the race between them two, because they had a good little battle. Stacker comes down towards the hairpin as well. He's just been lapped by Neil. So again, everything changing here as TY goes through. Again, another lap for TY. So TY leaving it very, very late in this race for his pit stop. He clearly wants fresher tyres towards the end. So Bidzster on his way in second place. Neil back in third, so Neil's made a few mistakes there. Probably just a few little mistakes, but again, I'll have to see where TY comes out in retrospective to him. And Stevie goes through, just passes RZR Blade to lap him in fourth place. Through Sandoval as RZR Blade hits the wall. RZR Blade hits the wall there, unlucky for him. He's just having a bit of a problem there as Blakeney comes out of the pits. And where's Keith? He's just coming across the line, so Keith definitely made a few mistakes there. Blakeney's got a good 8 seconds on him. So Keith goes through the first corner, and now he's playing catch up to Blakeney. So here comes TY through the exit of the tunnel down towards the chicane. Oh, pushing very hard, almost a bit too deep into there, but just about got the car stopped in time. You see damage all over that car. Even though damage is off, the game still puts damage on the cars, which is very annoying, but oh well. Going into the swimming pool, nice and steady through here. Oh, hits the wall though, still pushing hard. Bidzster's only 9 seconds behind now, so TY goes round again, so he will have to pit this next lap. This will be his last lap to pit. If he doesn't pit, he'll be disqualified from the race for not pitting within the pit window. So he's got to pit this lap. Very important that he does so. As Neil Farmack comes through in third place there. Let's see if there's any other battles happening on track so far. Let's have a little skim through. So Footman into the pits then, in the leader in GTE into the pits as RZR Blade approaches. So I don't know if RZR Blade's actually made a pit stop yet, but we'll soon find out. As Blakeney comes through in 9th position behind. So Footman up on the jacks. I wonder if RZR Blade's going to pit this time. So RZR Blade comes up and he goes through. So unless RZR Blade has already pitted, but I'm not sure if he has or not. But no matter what, he takes the lead in his class. So RZR Blade takes the lead in his class. Don't know whether it's permanent, but whether he's pitted yet, but we'll see. There's Growly Bear now with Callum behind him over the curbs. Down towards the next corner, Callum goes through into Piscine, into the swimming pool section. Nicely through there. As we look at Bidzster, he's approaching the chicane now, throwing that car in. Left, right, boom, straight through. So TY must pit this lap or it's a DQ, so he's got to pit this lap. And he's coming in. TY comes into the pit, so too fast into the pit lane. It's really too fast, and that's going to lose him even more time. Bidzster's already approaching him. He can't find a gear. There he goes. Now he's into the pits. Oh, what a disaster for TY. That could mean the difference between second and third in this race. So Neil could catch him, but again, Neil's had his own mistakes and he's still in traffic. So TY might have just got away with it there. So he's still in the pits, but again, not the entrance you want to make to the pit lane there. Not at all. As we look at Callum now, he's coming down towards the lows, hairpin on his own. So, Footman in the lead of GTE now. So, RZR Blade, yeah, RZR Blade's going really slow. Very slow indeed, so a major problem there for RZR Blade. He's just got the car recovered there. he's off again, so I don't know what that were about, but we'll get a replay on that. Okay, here's an on board with Arzadar then, see what happened to him. So we're going down the straight, and listen, car just goes dead, completely dead. So what's happened is Arzadar's accidentally caught something on his wheel, and he can't seem to do anything about it. He's trying to fiddle around with the wheel settings, and he's just coasting into the corner, and then ends up going into the wall, because he can't control anything. And if you just fast forward in here, so we're rolling backwards, he's still trying to get things sorted. Right, he's found the windscreen wiper switch, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, and finally gets it going. But then as you go up the hill, it cuts out again. So again, he's having real problems with his wheel. You see, I think he ended up catching a button on it, and it ended up cutting the car out a few times, trying to get things working again. And then by the time we actually got round to up here, where I'm just going to fast forward to, he eventually found him, got the car fixed, and then you'll hear it now. Just springs back into life, and away he goes. So as we go back to our leader then, so it is after the LMP1's pit stop window, it is Bidzster in the lead for LMP1 then. TY comes through in second position, he's out of the pits in second. So Neil obviously made a few mistakes in this race so far, and he's in third position, but he's already about half a lap behind. Stevie in fourth place in LMP1 around here. So, oh, he stopped as well, he's had a problem there. So Stevie stops there, and he continues, probably just his own mistake into the wall, but Stevie in fourth place in LMP1, and Callum in fifth place in LMP1 as well. So let's see, the GTEs have still got one more lap to sort out all the pit stops, so I'll give you the rundown on that order when they reach lap 21 in their little race. So let's see if there's any other battles happening on track at the minute. We've got Arzadar Blade there, Stevie's coming up to lap him, a bit of a gap between them. The only problem with Monaco, sometimes it does provide quite close, cars running quite close together, but sometimes it does spread the field out, unfortunately. But again, it's all about, with Monaco, is more about the skill of racing around this track with these fast cars than the racing. Obviously the racing is an element, because it is racing, it's motorsport at the end of the day. We do like to see racing on track, but at the end of the, also at the end of the day as well, it is Monaco, so you can't really do much about that. They're very tight, twisty streets, but again, it's more of a challenge and a skill and test for the driver to actually get to the end of the race, to survive Monaco. It's a game of survival, I always think, in this one. As Footman comes up to lap his fellow compatriot in his class, Blakeney in the Aston, who's having a very good run actually, I do have to say, in this Aston Martin. He's had a bit of a torrid season, so is TY's teammate in that Aston Martin. It's a nice fast car, but for some reason Project Cars makes it insanely hard to handle. But I don't know why, but hopefully Slightly Mad Studios and Project Cars will fix that for the next game. So got to be careful of the track limits though, Blakeney, even though you're in 9th place, got to be careful. As Footman comes up to lap Blakeney there, up the hill, not quite close enough to make a move yet, so Blakeney will keep doing what he does. As he goes a bit wide there, but again, it's not a bad line to go a bit wider and then get a nice line in. As Footman closes up, as we look at Bidzster then, 25 seconds ahead of TY, completely dominating this race so far. 7 laps to go in a commanding lead of his own. So, but he's still got to get to the end of the race. Like I said, it's Monaco, it's a survival. One major mistake could see the race turn on its head, as he makes a little mistake there as he outbrakes himself, but no worries as he approaches Keith in the Porsche. So TY there in second place in class. Oh, shortcutting that first corner a little bit. Just shows you're still pushing hard. So roughly about 20 seconds between each LMP1 car at the minute. So quite spread, but again, that's what the traffic does and the challenge of Monaco, like I've been saying. So actually the closest battle on track at the minute is between Blakeney and Keith. Come through the chicane in the swimming pool, Callum behind them now, so Footman about to lap Blakeney and also about to get lapped by Callum, but they'll have to wait for the straight to do it. Blakeney will be getting them blue flags. Oh, Callum goes into the wall at Rascasse, so Callum won't be catching him anytime soon, so Blakeney should hopefully get out of the way of Footman here, because he is a lap down, but he's not. I know it's your fellow class, but you've got to give way to your fellow class. As they go up the hill, he should let him go here. As he moves out the way and the Footman goes through, but it took a while there for Blakeney, so I would imagine there'll be words with Blakeney about that. But let's him go through eventually. So let's see if Callum got going. Yes, he did. Callum got going, and he's just been lapped by Bidzster. So Bidzster laps his fellow compatriot in his class, Callum, as they head down towards the next corner. So it's not every day that you see Bidzster lap Callum, or actually not every day that you see Callum get lapped at all, but it's just how it goes. We all have these bad races once in a while, but we're all continuing. Let's have a look at Arzadar Blade, who's in the pits then. So the last lap of the pit lane window for the GTE. So Arzadar Blade hadn't pitted before, so he'd obviously made quite a few mistakes. So now Footman's going to have an even bigger lead. So Growly Bear might go into second place here unless he's not pitted. So we'll see. So Growly Bear must have pitted because he's gone round. If he does pit now, it's too late. So Footman in the lead then of GTE, and he makes a mistake into the swimming pool. We timed that right. Straight backwards, and now he's got to get out of the way of the cars coming into the swimming pool as Blake and Callum go through there, and now he's got to find a gear, gets it back going, and gets out the corner. So Footman gets going. So looking for Footman there, just going to him. So Growly Bear now out of Growly Bear is very close to Arzadar. So as he made a mistake at the first corner, we'll get a replay. Just before we look at what happened to Growly, this is something I've just come across on lap 18. Arzadar comes down to the chicane and completely misses his braking point, and then just decides to continue. So that is a definite track limit, and that'll be at least a 5-second penalty. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Growly. So he goes into the first corner and bang, into the wall. Completely misses his braking point and goes backwards. Now he's going backwards again, trying to find first gear, and then he's away, and then Arzadar comes out the pits quite close to him, as you can see there. So as we come back from that then, the battle for 7th place in GT is on, as Arzadar Blade gives Growly Bear the hurry up, saying come on, get on with it. I need to get past you, but also we've got Bidzster closing on us. As we go down towards the Lowe's hairpin, Growly Bear defends slightly as Arzadar Blade gives him yet another nudge. Come on, hurry up, I want to get through, I'm hungry. As we go down towards the tunnel, Arzadar Blade hits the wall there, so getting a bit carried away with himself as now Growly Bear does it. And now Bidzster's got to get past these two cars here. Watch Bidzster, he's going to get past these two cars, going around the outside of Growly. Close stuff. Bidzster right around the outside of Growly Bear. Risky, but he did it. He obviously didn't want to waste no time and leave them to their own battle, so Bidzster straight through. One of the most daring lapping of a car I've ever seen. There's Arzadar Blade there with damage on the windscreen and the windscreen wiper going, so clearly thinks it's raining. Either that or he's sweating that hard, that he's sweating, making the windscreen steam up. But right behind Growly Bear now, in towards Rascasse. Round Rascasse we go, in towards the last corner. Nice lines there from both. As we go onto the straight, both quite evenly matched. Will Arzadar Blade go for a move into Sandoval, or will he wait? As we go towards Sandoval onto the brakes, both cars brake quite late as Growly gets a bit of a mistake there, and then Arzadar Blade hits him up the back end. Couldn't really avoid that, but then I think he's gone through anyway. So hits him up the back end and goes straight through. So not the cleanest way of doing it, but it's a way. So he got through into 7th place as Growly Bear starts trying to think he's on a skateboard and start grinding the Armco rails. Down towards the hairpins then. Callum has to wait behind these GT boys for the straight. And we look at Footman and Blakeney. Footman just lapping Blakeney there as Blakeney makes a mistake. So again, close stuff. Down towards the next few corners. Let's look at Bidzster, the leader then. Through the swimming pool. Still pushing hard as though it's qualifying. You don't want to lose your rhythm as over the curb a bit there. Has lost concentration, ran in a bit deep. Didn't really gain much time for that because the car hopped more than anything. As we go up towards the last corner and out of it onto another lap. There's TY in second, he's only just at the swimming pool, so half a lap between them. And then we've got Neil, who's just at the hairpin, so again about another third of a lap between them as Neil goes very deep into there, only just gets the car stopped and turned round. So he's got to be careful with that. As Stevie comes up to lap Growly Bear in the Ford GT. He goes through there, Growly Bear will keep to the right, Stevie will go to the left and straight through as Arzadar Blade goes into the first corner, chasing after Callum, but Footman is way ahead in his class. He's a whole minute and 5 seconds ahead. He's a really big gap, just over a minute ahead of his fellow compatriots in his class. So the GTE order then, after all the pit stops, because we're well ahead of the pit stops now, is Footman from RZR Blade in the Corvette. Then it's Growly Bear in the Ford GT. We've just been lapped there by TY in 2nd place in the LMP1. Blakeney in 9th place for the Aston. Keith in the Porsche in 10th place, and 11th for Stackers. The Porsche's clearly not doing too well around here so far. But we'll see what happens when the drivers swap later on. So Stacker not having a good race here. And the car looks pretty second hand. But again, we all have as bad races and we all have as good races. So unlucky for Stacker in this one so far. But keep clawing at it, Stacker, because it is double points. Well worth it if you finish the race. So Bidzster on to lap 28 then. So 3 laps to go for Bidzster as he goes up the hill. As again, sorry there's not many battles on track at the minute, guys, but it's just how the racing pans out, especially with Monaco. It's just as much as a game of survival as it is a race. As you can see, most people have hit the wall in this one. That's why damage is off, because we can't always get things 100% right. We are, at the end of the day, we are amateurs doing this for fun. We're not professionals. So we do like to do it, and we wouldn't do it if we didn't like it. As we go into Sandevot, RZR Blade, a beautiful line round there, nicely done. As you see Blakeney here in the Aston Martin, he's in 9th, and then Keith is in 10th, but they're on the same lap. So one major mistake from Blakeney could see him go back towards Keith. Again, watch this space, anything could happen. In towards Sandevot again over those curbs, so got to be careful of the track limits there with Blakeney. As you look at Bidzster sliding his way through Rascasse and sliding his way out, pushing very hard indeed as we go across the line. And TY coming down towards the chicane. He's about to close on a couple of cars as well, I think. There's Neil Farmack coming down towards the hairpin. He's catching a few GT boys as well. So what we'll do now, guys, is we'll just have a little bit of an onboard session just to show you how fast these cars are. So this is my favourite camera. It doesn't keep it permanent, but look at the speed. Straight past that Aston as though it's standing still. But unfortunately this camera will change now. There it goes. It changes to the actual cockpit camera. But we'll just stay in the cockpit camera now as we go into the chicane again. Through the chicane very nicely through there, and then we'll get some good speed here. We might be able to pass the GT car, but no, we have to wait down towards the next corner, and we've probably got to wait all the way through this section now. We've got to wait all the way behind that GT car in front of us as we go into this section here. So let's go on board with Growly Bear. We can see the little monitor there. We've got the Marek of Neil right behind us as we look onto the straight, and this is where Neil will come past us. Watch the video screen, you'll see him go past us to the left, and there he goes, straight past us. That's the speed difference between the cars, just to give you a little bit of an insight into what they look like, or what the speed difference look like. So Bidzster then on to the penultimate lap of the race, coming towards the end of the penultimate lap, should I say, about to start his last lap of the race. Faultless from start to finish, 17 seconds ahead of TY, so he must have made a little mistake somewhere, because that gap's come down a bit, unless TY's been on it, but he must have made a mistake somewhere, because he's lost about 9 seconds to TY, so everyone makes a little mistake, but luckily Bidzster had enough gap in order to make the mistake, to get away with it, as he comes up towards Casino behind Keith and cannot get through. He's got to wait now behind Keith. He's got time, we've got plenty of time on this last lap, no point rushing, as he goes past Keith down towards the next corner, onto the brakes, and cleanly through, and now down towards the Lowe's hairpin, and nicely through there. So obviously Bidzster either had a few problems with traffic or had a major off somewhere, but then there's TY, he's closing up to him, but again it's not going to be close enough with the time left, because it's 16 seconds. That's not going to happen unless Bidzster makes a massive mistake now. So there goes Neil Farmack. He's about to start his last lap of the race as well. And Stevie goes through there in LMP1. So Bidzster coming through the chicane then. Bidzster through the chicane for the last time. And what we'll do actually, we'll just get a quick replay before we see him cross the line of what actually happened to him to lose all that time. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Bidzster for him to lose all that time, and it is quite a spectacular one. So we go into the swimming pool, we turn into early and bang, the car rolls right over. That would have been damage on, that would have been the end of his race. But then he gets the car, luckily recovered round, he goes into the wall there to watch out for Keith. Then he gets the car back going again, but that's where the 9 seconds went. Spectacular crash. So as we come back from that major little roll we saw, Bidzster recovers from it and wins the race at Monaco. A good 40 points for Bidzster, and it will actually be 44 points with the pole position and the fastest lap of the race as well. So well done to Bidzster there. TY is going to come across the line with Callum just in front, so Callum will cement his position in 5th in class. So well done to him. Neil Farmack next in class to cross the line. So I'm just going to have a quick skim through. So Callum's finished the race there. Footman's still going. As we got a bit of an incident at the chicane there. Is it Keith? No, Keith's already finished the race because he's been lapped by Bidzster before the line. So it was Stacker who had a bit of a moment there at the chicane. As Blakeney now is actually ahead of Growly Bear. So Blakeney passes Growly Bear. Don't think they've finished the race yet. They're still going. So Growly Bear and Blakeney have swapped round. So we'll get a replay on how that switched. As we look at them coming towards the line then, so Stevie crosses the line with Neil just in front. Azadar finishes where he's in class as well. Just trying to keep up with how many people are left across the line. I think it's Blakeney and Growly that are going to be the last two to cross the line with Stacker as well. There's Stacker. Keith's already crossed the line, so it is Blakeney and Growly the last two to cross the line. And that'll be it, guys. So what I will do is the replay's about to time out on us, so I'll stop the replay there. And then what we'll do, guys, we'll just get those results confirmed for you now. Okay, guys, here's the results from that then. So Bidzster takes a win in that one. Well done to Bidzster, he wins that race from TUI in 2nd position. Then it's Neil in 3rd. Stevie finishes in 4th, as we just go over the page. Callum finishes in 5th. And then Footman wins the GTE class. Well done to Footman, a good race by him. Azadar Blade in 2nd. Then it's Blakeney in 3rd in that class. 4th for Growly, 9th overall. 10th for Keith, which is 5th overall, 5th in the class. And 6th for Stacker, which is 11th overall in the race. So as you come back from that then, there's your winner in LMP1, Bidzster in the Toyota, and your winner in GTE is Footman in the Ford GT. So again, those two guys unrivaled in their classes at the minute. They're truly dominating their classes and they're up at the front of the championship. So we'll see what happens when the roles are reversed, when the Footman goes in the LMP1 and Bidzster in the GTE. So we'll see you for that one, guys. Take care.